Welcome back. We're watching more Bocchi, and, well, seeing someone struggle so vehemently against every aspect of life, whether it would be making friends or just generally talking to people, or the conversations she has in her own head about random strangers on the street. And considering we got little bits and pieces like, oh, someone on the park bench, you're as miserable and lonely as me. Oh, I am so sorry about that. I must have been mistaken. Or, I think, was it right at the end where she was leaving the club and walked into some random stranger? So, sorry, didn't mean to walk into you. Oh, so sorry. How many minor problems is she going to face, which really, in her own mind, get blown way out of proportion? Personally, I'm thinking quite a lot. But whether she's dragged kicking and screaming into social events, it's gonna be one hell of a journey finding out, watching along the way, laughing at her misfortune while also feeling a small bit of pity and sadness and knowing how my life could have turned out exactly the same. Just without the long pink hair. Well, without the pink hair. Well, what are we sitting around here for? Let's see some distress and maybe some music. In more Bocchi. You know an episode's gonna be good when it starts off with a close-up of a dog. Ice. I would rather not. I think there should really be a bit more concern than just... I think at least you've got to admire the strength of mind to actually go through with that kind of bath. Just the idea of a cold bath fills me with dread. Reminds me of all the times when my boiler has stopped working. Like, there are some reasons that you can think of to actually act in that way, although going through the effort of putting extra ice cubes in it, did I say anything about this opening? Did I have the opening before? I think just the idea and colours of all behind it is quite nice. You can see the difference in the messages there. Has the excitement of it worn off, now it's just fear. But going through the door by yourself is too much of a jump. I regret to say, I've done that. Maybe not this. Just wait for someone that she knows to turn up. Exercise. They made themselves too obvious. They can't have a Bocchi observation group if she knows they're there. Got to start somewhere. If you're going to form a band together, it might be good to actually start learning a thing or two. Da-da-dun. I think that's rigged. Roll again. Two-hour commute. Fair enough. We've dug into some heavy details there. I don't think there's been many people who've needed to completely give away their future and move, or have to travel for hours just so they don't meet anyone. She's create. Sent out adrift into the Crimson Sea. Or can they be socially awkward together? True stuff only. The Saudi Arabian chant say. I really appreciate this. Basically, talking about friends, adventure, having experiences out in the wide world. They write about the bleakness of their high school years, you know, ones that you can get behind. And it ruins your mental image of them. Yeah, once you get a started, there's no bringing it back to Earth. Is anyone here willing to start singing? Are we going to learn more about this runaway, or why they left? It's too much even for a anxiety to just drop all responsibilities and run. Huh? You'd over. Her life is so hard. The poor girl. Her optimism of finding a vocalist just out there, like sitting on a park bench or swing set, and it worked out for a guitarist. So. Just roll again. So is it dodge or just ignore? Because there was no smart moves there, just completely blanking. That is have a bit of a following. Huh. Oh. You have to pay a fee. Yep. I don't think you're going to be able to convince them again. Why don't you ask your new group member? Bring along everyone she knows. somehow the attendance will go into the negative. Where did the microphone come from? They're already expecting defeat. Let's get the money for paying the quota. This is all of her savings. Please don't make her get a job. I'll take that. No, I can actually imagine that. I don't think anyone would care that much about... Well, at least it was over quickly. Oh. She was often in delusions. The crime of being a terrible cashier. You know, if people were actually arrested and charged for that kind of thing, they'd have no one in customer service. How could you turn them down now? This is a trap, obviously. What's with the music following that? Are you saying she's not responsible enough to care for money? That wasn't a compliment. But her family's rich, you say? Now we go back to the bath time. Hypothermia is a good look, yeah. A perfect reason to not go into work. I mean, exposure is one thing. Is it that easy to force yourself to have a... Yeah. First, force yourself to have a temperature in the flu. Not gonna let us down, right? How could it be so cruel as to be encouraging? This isn't solved through an apology. Allah, indeed. Because this is only right for that she commits Sudoku. She is, Yep. She can get a point across quite easily. Just come out and say it, obviously. What's the problem? Why can't you just... How could you tell? It's quite the memorable box, wasn't it? Okay, manga. Even though she was so pleased with it just then. Just the hair antenna not give a little bit away. She was so nervous about just being out in public and talking and having someone talk to her. She can't take in the details. Just like any good family, if we're outside, don't you dare talk to me. Just melted. Well, just keep her busy so she can't run away. It was 3 things. Have a notepad or something. I mean, everyone remembers it differently. Some are visual. Well, yeah, because she's not trying to keep in time with anyone else. Have we got another fan? Yeah, don't start serving things that they don't ask for. Quite the expensive drink. Or maybe not. It depends where you are, really. So you run it as a restaurant with in-house entertainment. She's come so far, considering she was trying to get out of having a job in the first place. Who are we to take it away from her? What part of working in this place and potentially serving drinks did she not realize would be with people? It brought in a lot of money today. The fantastic under-counter goblin giving out drinks. Is she capable of seeing anything coming out from her little hidey hole? Seeing what the future is like might actually have people paying her attention. Sin. Yeah, I get it. I mean, the fact that she's actually here, didn't collapse or run away, did well for a first day at work. Still with the water flea thing, are we? Considering that she enjoys it so much, wants to be a part of why people come back. If she can be the origin of the wanting to be outside and talking to people. Holy hell, that's a gift that she can possibly think about what it would actually give her. Yeah, might be a little difficult. And even despite her inability to meet the customer's eyes this time, no one seems to have left immediately. Everything is drawn in. She has done quite a lot recently. It's more than just a small step forward. You're going to be able to get through the entire transaction? Smile, just hand it over. Most of the way there. She's got the basics down, just, got to work on the execution now. She's climbed a goddamn mountain. It's not just a single step. Ah. I guess, yeah, if this is how she feels now, and yet it seems kind of insignificant for them. And quickly, scuttle away home as fast as possible. But she seems happy with it. Ah! Your damn cold baths are catching up to her. What could have done this? Their lives are going to be so much better now. They can think about the future. Part of it is settled. Got to find a vocalist. Smash cut to a karaoke bar. Kinda makes sense. The thought of a just being able to look someone in the eye and hand over a drink being probably trivial to quite a few people, and yet to the likes of Bocchi, it is a life or death situation. Just the idea of being able to keep a somewhat serviceable expression on her face throughout of it is a great step forward. You never quite understand or know what someone else is going through. How many more attempts at self-sabotage are we going to see, though? We really saw some of her sensibilities and what she's about in the previous episode, but now trying to get out of any sort of situation, obligation maybe, by dunking herself in ice cold water. That is some serious dedication to not being sociable. When it gets into bodily harm and putting yourself into hypothermia territory, you know you've got a bit of an issue. And I wonder how long it's going to take and how many personal bits of intervention of other characters is it going to take to force her to take that step. Because she wants to, but he's getting over that threshold of what if it goes wrong? Having someone there to literally probably hold her hand, pull her along as she stumbles away into trying to do things on her own 2 feet. What did we get out of it? The worst situation possible, her having to face a customer and hand out orange juice. But the fact that she actually took the in her stride and tried to do it, what happened? Nothing much. She went through the encounter pretty well, and then sure, the random person on the receiving end did just kind of giggle a bit about how absurd the situation is, but other than that, I think it went quite well. So I'm sure she could be thrust full into full supermarket retail customer service and maybe even the complaints department, the returns section, yeah? That's where the kindest and politest of interactions really occur, after all. But I guess the idea of her actually managing to come back to the place again after the experience she got before with the playing on stage in a box, being in front of so many people in a box, but receiving a nickname, so it was all worth it. And now a secondary nickname, even if it wasn't exactly well thought out. Or even intended. Poor little Mango-chan. Since we've got a fully formed band, at least in concept, how long is it going to be? I'm guessing, since it was introduced, at least shown off via Karaoke, we'll be getting the singer come barreling in by the next episode. And I'll be thoroughly eager and awaiting that. And how long is it going to be before any of them actually find out, or even if she tells them her address in case she does have a fully fledged fever again and they need to come visit her sometime in the future? If the only point of contact is the phone and she's not answering, the band's going to go down in a less of a blaze of glory and just a backyard tire fire. You know, if there's nothing else, I do believe that Bocchi is a show which, while being a bit irreverent and there's people suffering from social anxiety aspects, while going so overboard, it's almost horrifying. You never know what people are thinking. Maybe they are judging your every move and action. I don't think if you're suffering from social anxiety, that's something you really want to hear. So whether or not you need help talking, going outside, doing something with your life, I've made myself sad. Well, I hope I can at least distract you for a brief 20 minutes or so. If you've enjoyed Bocchi, let me know down below. Consider leaving a like and a comment on the channel, maybe even subscribing to the channel. But for now, get yourself some rest, have a nice warm bath. Maybe join onto my Discord. But I'll see you in the next one. If you want to be the reason I keep coming back, consider joining onto my Patreon. Helping out my channel really does get me out of bed, get me moving, and doesn't actually resort me to start considering Sub-Zero washing techniques. And I really must be grateful about that. But for now, I need to thank Noku, Raywin, Sal, Arthur, Kite, Mystic Square, Shiwan, Mats, Gurley, Cardboard, Akane, Guado, Diego Zenhausen, Tori Jane, the Kebab Seller, and everyone else. As long as you don't actually make me do any customer service.